All right, MrSotko here, and welcome back to another Wargame Red Dragon replay cast. And today we got a very special game. It is a 4 vs 4, but it is the final two games in the Minor Nations Tournament, or that's what I believe them to be. As these two games were uploaded to the replay site, in which I normally get my replays unless they are emailed to me, which is sometimes the case. On the Blue 4 team, we have Nandamoni, Toradora, Frosty Senpai, and Integer. On the right side, Razman, Heligi, Hopfastau, that's a brutal one, Trolleg, and WGF Random. So now what this is the Minor Nations Tournament. You cannot use USA or USSR. So you basically have to use the minor nations, obviously. So you cannot have the same two nations on the team. So you couldn't have two France or two Poland, yada yada, that sort of thing. So we're going to get this sped up, and there is another game after this that I will be casting. So if you like this sort of game, there's going to be another one uploaded to my channel, maybe the next day, maybe the same day, I'm not really sure. And actually I have another replay to cast after these two games. So I have a lot of Wargame ahead of me. And so once this game gets going, we're actually going to speed it back down to 1x, and then we're going to pause it and see just what nations our players are going to get this game. Integer is going to be South Korea. Frosty Senpai is going to be Sweden. And Toradora is going to be Japan. And Nandamoni is going to be Norway. Now on the other side, let's take a look at what these guys got. Razman is going to be North Korea. Trolleg is going to be Poland. And over here we have Heli. I'm probably just going to call him Heli. Or Heil. Either way, whatever. Faustern. Now it's going to be East Germany. And where is the other play? WTF Random is going to be Czechoslovakia. So let's get this game going and see how it goes. So, pretty big map. Charlie, Hotel, always good. Bravo and India. Echo is almost always neutralized with 2 CVs. So really, it's just about trying to get past your opponent and trying to take either Bravo. It usually ends up being Bravo that is fought over. India is a little bit, slightly more difficult to fight over, particularly for the Red 4. Lots of BTR 80s. And huge troop movements, recon, moving over to Hotel here to fill up the city here, and in Juliet too as well. Meanwhile, on the left side of the map, our Red 4 team, again, bringing lots of troops. Lots of troops are going to be in this map here to fill up all these towns on the edges. Probably going to put some anti-air and recon over here to make sure no sneakiness is going on. And doing the same pretty much for our Blue 4 team, and not putting too much defense over here in Delta and Alpha. You really don't need to, as long as you got some anti-air and just some things to stop anything from getting across. We have an MI-17 with some recon trying to land here and trying to get the recon out as soon as possible and into the wood line, and I don't know if that's going to happen. We will see. You might get lucky. And all the BTR-80s are now engaging here with the Panzerbills. And XAs are trying to get on out of there. We have closed arrows here for anti-air moving over, but there isn't too much anti-air really. And those BTR-80s wasted quite a bit of stuff there. BRDMs trying to make it across the water here, and they are amphibious, and they do quite a bit of damage with that 30 mil. Or nope, not going to be 14.5 mils in this case. And the BTR-80s moving across here, and troops getting blasted out, trying to make it into the town. So a huge push here coming from Nandamoni, trying to get into this town. So many troops, and a big push of Red 4 has made it into Bravo, and this is exactly what you got to do. You got to take over the other side, because Echo is almost always going to get neutralized in some way. Not this time around, apparently. So our Red 4 team has a +1 advantage so far. Troops pouring in across the bridge there. And on the left side here, Nandamoni has put unbelievable amounts of Gewehr men inside of the town here. And they are still coming and spread out a little bit over here as well to capture this town. But we do have some troops coming here. And I believe I see some napalm. So that's going to hurt the Gewehr men if they can get into the town as well. Now, the Red 4 push is performing quite well over here. We have tons of K1s now moving in. So here comes the armor from South Korea, and going to be pushing But there's tons of KPZs in the wood line as well, so we'll see who can win out. And I'm guessing it's probably going to be the KPZs because the K1s probably can't see too well there without the recon. We have some recon here, but even still. And in the town here, I don't know if our Blue Fort player is going to last out. There are quite a bit of Mott shoots in there that have just occupied the same territory there. Not too much defense over here. Could probably get away with a push around there, a helicopter push around there. But it would be risky indeed. Gewehrmen are kind of losing out in this town here. Unfortunately, the Red Fort has to push across to make it into this town, and those Panzerbills are really giving them a run for their money there. And those Falscums there also doing quite a bit of damage. So far, a +3 advantage now for our Red Fort team, because our Blue Fort team does not have Bravo here. And our Red Fort team has Echo, giving that +1. And the Blue Fort is down +2 due to not being able to capture Bravo here, as they don't have a CV in there. So the +3 advantage so far for the Red Fort team, going strong, 91 points. And the town here, it looks like Nandamona has lost out. The Gewehrmen are not particularly good. They don't have CQC, whereas the Geogokte have a CQC machine guns there. As you can see, the CQC means you can fire at close distance, obviously, and they typically win out. And the Gewehrmen are also pretty cheap overall, and so they lost out on that. Now, not too much going on in Echo, neither side really. We do have a CV here, but it is not unloaded. That CV is just hanging out there, and he needs to unload that to neutralize that, which would bring the Red Fort team down to at least +2, which slow things down a little bit. Still a +3 advantage now for the Red Fort team. They took over Bravo, brought a CV in here at some point. Where is that CV? All the way back here, T-72 CV in the back, and we have some Mott shoots and such in Delta as well. And all the troops have to do now is really hold this out. And if they can push in right through here and get this town, that would mean that our Red Fort team would have Juliet pretty much in the bag. And we have some HMVs with some ATGMs here, but not going to make it. They're just going to get peppered up by something along the way. And Conquer's now firing from downtown here. Chumat's firing in. Looks like it's going after the T-90. T-90 is about half way to death. And I don't know if the Chumats are going to be able to do it, though. We will see, and we'll see if this one can connect. And it does, but only does 1 bar of damage. T-90S, 22 frontal armor. Pretty hard to get it if it's facing you like that. Blue Fort has captured, is holding strong, though, with Juliet here. And if this town falls, our Red Fort team could easily have a CV there safely. And then our Blue Fort team really wouldn't have a way to get in here. And if our Red Fort team also gets this wood line here, now in the center, once Echo has been neutralized, as it usually is, although our Red Fort team had it pretty early, as you can have a CV all the way over here, CV all the way here, and there's not really much you can do about that, as that bridge in the way is pretty much suicide to go across. And now Bravo here has just so many units. This is just asking to be artilleried, but it doesn't look like there's much artillery on the map. And there's just so much. You could pretty much just blindfold yourself, spin around in circles, and click, and you would destroy something. Pabians did not make it into the town there. And now the battle for Juliet continues. Still a +2 advantage for our Red Fort team. T-72 M2 making its way across. And sooner or later, something is going to take this out. So many M8 Panzerbills here firing away at the Hyundai, and they are not going to last too long. They got inside the woods successfully and should be hidden for a little while. However, these M8s are just going to streak right across and go in there, but they're going to take a Type 69 to the face. Whichever one goes in there first, more than likely. An attack has been called on this town. Those Conquers are providing a lot of trouble for the Blue Fort team. Can't really bring any armor over there, or they're just going to get conquered. Now they stay close. They're all out of ammunition, though, so they're going to have to bring over supply vehicle. The M8s, they did make it in there, but got pretty much destroyed here by the PT-91. Echo. It's just going to be a pretty much a standoff just the entire game. It's pretty much just going to be neither side's really going to be able to push across from there. Bravo neutralized here on both sides. CV has been brought in, but it's going to be in a pretty obvious place here for our Red 4 team. So our Red 4 team could maybe try to bomb that out or artillery it out. And the T-72 is going to be a little bit harder to take out. Trying to take over this wood line here, but I doubt that's going to happen much. Shoots in here, going to get to the edge, and there's a Draken there that took out a couple, but was a pretty poor hit there. IKV's not going to last much longer here. Could just push forward here. RPG 75s and RPG 7s. I'm going to be able to take those out sooner or later. And the battle for Juliet still continues, but the Red 4 team has made a pretty good push here into the wood line. The wood's mostly destroyed, mostly bombed out there. Type 63's all the way over here, going to spot everything that's coming around now. And now a 0-0 for both of these teams. Bravo has been neutralized, leaving 0-0, and neither side accumulating points just yet. And I don't think either side has a CV in Juliet. No, it doesn't look like it. So if the Blue 4 team could bring in a CV and maybe just keep it all the way back and put some kind of defense there, they could hold Juliet, but that's going to be easier said than done. Oh, now India is in trouble here. Those Commando have to move away from these Mi-17s, but we have some air power here coming to try and take them out, but there's still one left. And they should be able to juke it out there, and they do. So that keeps India for them. And Juliet does not look like it's going to last much longer here unless there's a lot of troops coming in. And the problem is you could put some armor here and hit all these APCs bringing in troops from far away. Perhaps that T-90, pushing this T-90 here into this, maybe this thin wood line here, or even in the thick wood line, could hit all of this stuff that is pouring in and take it out over and over. But now we have tons of XAs here, going to drop off by the looks of probably Gaverman. And it's got two with troops as well, going to drop off. And tons of them have dropped off there as well, so it's going to be a huge battle. And I don't think the Gavermen are going to last so long. We have CQC against non-CQC. We have tons of M8 Panzerbills pushing in, and there are 3 of them now, and they're going to do some damage, but they won't last all that much longer. They will take out some lives there, but won't last forever. Bravo is being pushed in pretty strong here. Tons of smoke is going down, and now all the units are coming across here. T-72 Modernas pushing across now. KPZs, T-62, and tons of troops also. Lots of troops. 4 APCs filled with troops here, about to get into the wood line, and that is not going to be good. There's nothing here that's really going to hold them off, and that CV here is going to be in trouble. He's going to have to move that back, which is going to give the Red 4 Bravo at least temporarily while he moves it to the corner, which will put them at a +4 advantage, and that's what he's not doing that now. Juliet was taken for a moment there. The T-72 CV took it for a moment, but we also have a CV troops there in the corner, so neutralized it. And the Geogokte has totally taken over the town, and it's just not looking so good for Juliet there for the Blue 4. Now a +4 advantage for the Red 4 team. They have taken over Bravo, forced the CV back, and look how many Mott shoots and are coming across here. 20, 40, Motostrelki. And just so many APCs that were carrying them. KPZs, just so much. Recon T-62s, T-72 Modernas. And so this is going to be very difficult to hold this off. These K1s are trying to back out as soon as possible. K1 here is a little bit too close. Need to back that out as 2 tow missiles now being launched to try and take out some of this armor, but they get taken out way too quick, and once they get taken out, the missiles just fly up into the air. And now that CV is being brought out of there, and that leaves Bravo for our Red 4 team. +4 advantage now, 289 out of 750. Juliet in trouble here. BTR 80A now going towards the CV group, and down to 4 men, down to 3 men. And I don't think anything's going to be able to take this out. We have Marine Jaegers over here that could have moved over there and possibly have taken that BTR-80 out there with that law. But too late now. So now Juliet belongs to the Red 4 again. So now a +4 advantage once again for the Blue 4 team. Now pushing into Delta. So lots of Mott shoots and pushing in now. Or no, never mind, not lots of Mott shoots and just a few. We have an amphibious CV here that looked like it pushed in for a moment there. Delphin's now flying overhead. And doesn't look like they bombed anything. Looks like they did not have a target. One player has left the game there on the Blue 4 side. +4 advantage still for the Red 4 team. B5 now coming overhead, and these are always the best things to watch. And we'll see where this is going. And looks like it's going right for that Bonbu. The CV may be in trouble, and it's going to launch right in this town. He suspects that the CV is in the town. Not sure if he actually saw it or not. And it takes it out. Indeed, now Delta neutralized, +6 advantage for the Red 4 team, and if it brings the CV in there, it will be a +8 advantage for the Red 4 team. Juliet totally and utterly lost on the left side. The Gewehrmen from Nandamonai just weren't cutting it. He was putting Gewehrmen inside the town, and Gewehrmen are cheap and will get the job done, mostly just in forests and out in the open. But in a town, they don't have CQC rifle or CQC machine guns. So they just don't do that good. The Geogokte do have CQC, and they will just simply always win out on that. So he was really just pushing in the wrong troops into a town. And help has been called, but it is called by the Red 4 team, actually, but there's really nothing there at the moment. CV now being pushed across the water there. And going to land in Delta and take this. Going to probably just set it right on the edge there. I thought he was going to bring it to the forest line, but he's just going to set it on the edge. +8 advantage now for the Red 4 team, and it's good. They're going to be cruising up. And now just really not all that good looking for the Blue 4 team. Rangers in the line here, and they're going to try and fight back with those laws, but Type 63's going to take them out pretty quick here. 85 mils blasting away at just people, and bodies don't do so good against 85mm rounds. Tons of Gewehrmen now pushing into the line here. There's Storms. Storm and Normans are pushing in now, and they do have Seiklas, but there's the T-72 Modernas just back up. Not a big deal. Tons of MiGs blast the area there, but it looks like they didn't do too much. These Stormans are moving on in, and those T-72 Modernas are already backed out. So now the Seiklos, the Erics there, not really going to do all that great. T-62 sitting back here, just 1 bar of health, and he's just pretty much going to sacrifice this because it's a 1 bar of health. Why not do some damage? And there was a good hit, and took out the majority of all those troops there. And here comes another MiG. Going to be bombing the same area there, but didn't really get anything because it was already bombed. Now, and even more MiGs now coming along. And going to rocket the area here. And those XAs taken out, or one taken out. And another rocket barrage there, but misses everything. Additional MiGs blasting the town line here, but the CV group is all the way in the back. And that +8 advantage is roaring for the Red 4 team. B5 flying overhead, and there looks like there's absolutely no anti-air whatsoever here. So that B5 is going to be... Nope, there was anti-air. That window of block is flying and trying to take it out. Does take out that B5, but too late. CV gone. And so losing that B5, not too big of a deal when you get a CV there. Delphins getting out of there too. And so much air power just bombing the hell out of this town, and there's nobody even in it. But it looks cool nonetheless. +9 advantage now for our Red 4 team. I think that's like the highest advantage I've ever seen. So 745 out of 750, and it is over. Now our Red 4 team has won the game there. That's the first game of what I believe to be the finals of the minor tournament. I got an email saying to cast this game, and that they were the 2 final games that were posted to the replay site. So stay tuned for game number 2 between these teams. And I hope you guys enjoyed this replay, and I'll see you guys next time.